this weekend, we saw thousands of Austinites take to the streets in what were largely peaceful demonstrations against an absolutely broken system. There is a deep and justified rage across this country, and right here, right now, in our fair city. An out-of-control pandemic has killed more than 100,000 Americans. And we have the kind of levels of unemployment nationally that this country hasn't seen since the Great Depression. The deaths of people like George Floyd, Mike Ramos, Breonna Taylor continue to highlight the racism embedded in our criminal justice system. I felt like we really just couldn't start this meeting without saying that the Austinites this weekend who protested, they were and are justifiably furious. And, you know, this isn't a quote that you're not familiar with, but I'll repeat it. Dr. King said it. A riot is the language of the unheard. And just to be clear, this weekend, what happened this weekend, that was not a riot. That was a demand to be heard. Our residents, they want us to hear their pain. They want us to hear their outrage. They want this long overdue change to systems that protect the privileged while traumatizing Black, brown, and other marginalized people. I just wanted to take the moment to make sure to say we cannot continue to stick our fingers in our ears and just wait for the next eruption of anger. I've joined with my colleagues, and we're asking for a couple of very specific things this work week that we can build upon. We have got to, we are obligated. We have got to start to root out the racism in our police department and to create a truly just and truly equitable system that ensures that public safety is accessible to all members of our community, the entire community, not certain segments of our community. So when we're talking about meaningful change, when we're talking about how to move forward equitably, all the options should be on the table. And I think that means we really should look at accountability measures. The action that we took back in December and moving forward with shifting and frankly, radically shifting training policies and crowd control tactics and how we equip our officers, what community policing actually looks like. You can't just take the word community and put it in front of policing and think we have something. That's not how it works. It's more than just words. Although words do matter, it's more than just words. It's actions. We have to look at staffing. We have got to look at our budgets. And I know that I'm resounding the sentiment of so many of our constituents when I say that the time for talk is absolutely over. And I hope my colleagues can hear me when I say, because I'm saying it alongside them, we hear their collective voice, but I want to add my voice to those collective voices of agony, calling for, demanding justice. And my hope is that my colleagues and I will answer that call. We absolutely have an obligation to respond. And my hope is that we will, and do so in a way that's substantive and meaningful. I don't want to start this meeting with good mornings and how are yous, and I kicked my kid out asking me to help her with the oatmeal. I don't have time for that. I really want to make certain that we are saying the words. We are recognizing people's frustration and anger and where it came from. Let's reverse engineer this thing. What's the source of it? And I think we all know. And so I would ask for forgiveness for sounding angry, but I don't need forgiveness for sounding angry. I am angry. And I am hurt and I am sad. And you should be too. And if you're not, then I don't know what to tell you. And I really appreciate you letting me start the meeting. But my hope is that we don't spend the morning and the day sitting here like business as usual, like nothing just happened. on the streets of our city this weekend. And it didn't start with George Floyd. It didn't start with Mike Ramos. I could name names all day, and that's a damn shame, y'all. We should all be sad and mad right now. And I'm even having a hard time just composing myself to remain in my seat to have this meeting today. I don't know about you, but I didn't go to sleep until 6:30. I've been in knots and sleepless for days on end. And it's not about me, it's about our community. It's about people who look like me, people who look like Delia and Greg and Pio. It's about poor people, because it turns out not all poor people look like me or Delia and Greg and Pio. It's about people existing in the margins. And we have got to act. If we don't do anything else with our time, we have got to act and in a way that people know that we see them and we hear them now, loud and clear. And I just wanted to make sure to be very clear about that. And you guys will have to forgive me if I'm largely muted today, because I just am struggling to find the strength.